Hello everyone, my name is Zyna Oversee and I'm your host on The Waiting Room with Zyna. I'm also the author of Zyna's Waiting Room. This book chronicled my experiences in the waiting room. By waiting room, I mean waiting for children for 17 years plus. So if you have not got your copy, please DM us. You can get it on Amazon, you can get it on Okada Books. You can even get it physically. Just let us know how we can get it across to you. And it's also on Bambooks. Okay, so welcome to yet another episode of The Waiting Room with Zyna Street Edition. I mean, you guys are lovely. I've been getting a lot of comments. I've been getting even calls, private calls concerning this. The one that blew my mind was last week. I got a testimony from someone who said she shared our link with someone, our brother, and he listened and watched our program and decided immediately that he wanted to adopt a child. I mean, he said they have all boys and in their family they didn't have a girl. Now he wants to adopt a baby girl, and he told the sister to help him get that on the road. Okay, so they are working on it. I am so excited. Another person also called me, a single lady who is not married. She said, you know what, why wait until I have a husband before I can have a child? Let me adopt a child. And she told me, and we also have set the ball rolling. So you guys are amazing. Keep watching this program. It's already changing lives. And for that, I am so grateful to God for saying yes to this program. So don't forget, we are always coming to you by 7 p.m. on Fridays on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. And if you don't know anything about it, you can go to our YouTube channel, Zyna TV. You can watch the previous episodes. The first season was mind-blowing. Okay, that was when we started out trying out so many things. Now we are doing the special edition, which is the street edition. Now we are talking to people on the street in Port Harcourt, in Lagos and Abuja, getting their take on the topics already discussed. And man, they have opinions about these things. And it's always interesting to listen to what they have to say. So today, we are talking about surrogacy. Okay, so follow me to the streets of Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. Let's hear what these guys have to say. Don't go nowhere.
Adoption is more better than this. However, in this one, you believe that I am carrying my child. This sperm belongs to my husband. This egg belongs to me. Are you understanding me? You will believe that. But the truth here is that you were not the one that pushed the baby. How would you breastfeed the baby? Are you understanding me? So, the truth, no. You are a mother, but you've never breastfeed a baby. Because your baby, your egg, your breast will never bring out milk. So, something is not complete there. So, I think what I am looking there is that it is better you go for adoption. In your mind, you know that this is not mine, but I am taking care of this baby as mine.
You see, we have different people with different opinion. Now, he's saying that it is a strange concept that you didn't birth the child and it looks like you birthed the child. So for him, he believes that you should just go ahead and adopt and say, okay, I didn't give birth to this child and I'm raising this child. But isn't it the same thing? It is one and the same thing, because at least in this case, your blood is involved. I mean, your egg and your husband's sperm, or vice versa, are involved. Or maybe one person's sperm and the other person's sperm is not there, but at least you can get the husband's sperm and another egg, depending on the situation. Now, what is surrogacy? Let's even look at it. Surrogacy, it is simple. Surrogacy is taking, having someone else carry your baby. That's what it means. Having someone else carry your baby. Now, in this case, the person who carries the baby will be called the surrogate mom, because so many people have different issues. Sometimes it is the womb that cannot, carry the baby. So when you find yourself in a situation where your womb cannot carry, so many people, some women I know, they've had miscarriages more than 10 times. One woman. And when this person is getting old, they will have a lot of sicknesses waiting for them. But in the African culture, you keep trying, you keep trying, you keep trying. Even though you're having, these miscarriages, it's not just that the body is going through a lot, the emotions. I know someone whose mom lost 10 children. There's 6 of them alive. 5 of them alive now. She lost 10 children. Do you know what that thing did to that woman? In her old age, her brain was messed up. Because when she was having these children, there was never a session, you know, there was never a counseling session. They will just tell you, okay, don't worry, another one will come. You keep bottling what you are going through. So the emotions involved. I remember when I tried IVF the first time. The day they harvested my eggs and I left the eggs, honestly, I felt like I left my babies. By the time I went back and they were supposed to implant the eggs and they were telling me stories, this one didn't happen, that one didn't happen, and all that, I cried and cried and cried as if I just lost my child. So imagine having recurrent abortions, you know, not intentional, having these miscarriages over and over and over. So sometimes the womb is not able to carry. You have the eggs, your husband's sperms are good, but there is no womb to carry. You need someone to help you. That's where surrogacy comes in. Sometimes some people actually even choose to do that intentionally. When someone is over 60 and still wants a child and doesn't want to go, and they don't know what will happen, you might carry and come out. Some people have carried and come out safely, but so many people have died trying at old age. The doctors would advise you, why don't you go through surrogacy? So this mindset that we have is the problem. We just have to loosen up. Because when you have all of those things in your head and they are clogging your head, you will not be able to be free to even think. So surrogacy is very good. And it can happen sometimes that you don't have the egg. There are egg donors. And your husband doesn't have the sperm. There are sperm donors. Now, do you have to know and see these people? No. That's where the problem is. Because we feel, my brother will not give me, tomorrow you say it's his child, or my sister will say, or my neighbor. No, you don't have to know them. That's why I'm bringing this story to you. That's why I'm bringing this topic to you. There are places you go for these things. It's now professionally done that you don't have to know the surrogate mom. You don't have to know the egg donor. You don't have to know the sperm donor. You don't have to know or see them. They will not know or see you. These things will be done in a very controlled environment. Contracts will be drawn out. In fact, sperm donors go and donate sperm and walk away. And they don't come back. They don't know what happens. Same thing with egg donors. Okay? Because there are people who want to be mothers and they are not married. Somebody is 50. She has never been married. And she doesn't want to go and start sleeping around. How do you want her to be a mother? And she feels that, okay, since I don't have a husband, I just want something to have, some kind of connection. It's a choice she made. So if she doesn't want to just go and adopt, she can have surrogate mom carry her baby. And she said, okay, I don't want to get pregnant, but I want my egg involved. So she can get her egg and then have a sperm donor. Until we begin to look at these things as natural, we will not be free. Okay, so what the guy said, that's true to him, but honestly, we need to loosen up. Let's hear what this lady has to say.
Since it's her egg and her husband's sperm, so it's better. At least they will take the child as theirs. I will not say it's 100% okay, but I will say if the woman cannot conceive, I will say it's advisable she do it.
Because it's a problem. You understand? Because when you go through that one, at the end of it, the man or the woman might be having problem with the one that carries the baby, and the man himself might even having feeling with the one that gives the baby and neglected his wife. You understand? And knowing that when such a thing happen and the other woman gives birth to that child, he has to be at the house by feeding the baby, because those things are the agreement. Unless if they agree that once the woman gives to the birth, just go, then they will not use the industrial milk to train the child.
Okay, so you get what she's saying, and that has been the problem. Now, surrogacy before now has been that when you get married, you cannot carry, you advise your husband, to help you become a mother by bringing in a maid. Yes, Sarah did it. You bring in a maid, and then or you bring your younger sister. In those olden days, where I'm from, people used to do that. You bring in someone, maybe a young girl that you like. You say, let me bring her in. Okay, husband, get her pregnant for me. And the agreement will be that once she has that baby, you take your baby. And then if the husband marries her, she can begin to have other children. Or she can go back home, depending on the agreement. But it never works. Emotions are involved. And then in this case, the man sleeps with this woman. So when the man sleeps with the younger woman, you will not tell him, okay, Oga, that one that you did is only one time, don't do it again. Will you be there to watch them? And this lady is carrying his baby. He's seeing her every day, pregnant. She's throwing up. She's sick. He has to take care of her. By the time he starts taking care of her, of course, there will be emotions. She will fall in love, and then he will fall in love, and then the rest is history. You have two baby mamas dragging one baby. Okay, so it happens like that. But what we have decided to do is to stop that, which is the traditional surrogacy. Traditional surrogacy is not advised. I don't advise it in any way, because in that case, emotions are involved and human beings are involved. And you cannot tell me that after carrying a baby for 9 months, it's now yours. Especially in this case where my eggs are even involved. No. So traditional surrogacy is not advisable. What we advise is this one. The surrogacy we advise is this one that is just based on, is a transaction. You don't get to know who the birth mother is. We have people who are doing it. We have homes where it is being orchestrated and done very professionally. So professional surrogacy is what we advise. And if you need help, just hit us up. We'll point you in the right direction so that you will not have to deal with this issue.
It's better than adopting. Yeah. Because some people, if it's not their blood, there's a way you treat someone's child. It will not be as if the way you treat your own.
Anyway, it's nice just to save soul. Because that person that don't have a child, there's a lot of challenges in her life, a lot of talk, people will mock her. So if God can make it possible for her, another person carry her own child, after 9 months he give birth and give to her, she don't get a child. It's a very nice idea, just to save that soul. Because a lot of people are committing suicide because of childless.
We cannot overemphasize what people are going through in the waiting room. You might not know, so when people judge, because some people have, tried to call me and tell me, don't say that. In the African tradition, this is not that. And I'm like, is the African tradition going to comfort you at night when you are crying, when you've seen your period yet another time for the 5th or 6th or 7th or 10th year in marriage and you don't have children? And you keep getting people inviting you to church programs, getting people laying hands on you, even when you don't want them to. What to go through in the waiting room is not something you come and be shouting, because you actually sometimes begin to feel that, yeah, you deserve what you get. I was in that box as well for some time, and I had to come out of it. You don't have to give me stress just because I don't have kids. I mean, I didn't call you to discuss my problem with you, so don't try to solve it for me. Because everybody on this earth is going through one problem or the other. That's the truth. Nobody has it all. I know some people preach that you can have it all. It's only God that you have in totality. But God never promised us a stress-free life. You will go through the rough patches of life and you will come out stronger. That's what he said. So you don't know which one yours will be. So rather than have someone put you in a box that you don't belong, you have to step out. Open your mind and open your heart, just like this woman said. At the end of the day, what matters is that you have a baby in your hands. And you did it the right way. So if you're not adopting and you want to have, do surrogacy, it is very, very, very advisable. In fact, some people prefer surrogacy to adoption because of the blood connection. But whichever way you want to go about it, it is very, very advisable.
Surrogacy is very, very okay. But you know why some people don't like doing it? Because fear of the unknown. Maybe in future the person You know, it has to do with two people. Maybe the person will come back and say, so, 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 and so time, you paid me money, I did this thing for you, I want to have my baby back, and I will give you back the money. So that is the fear. But if the person, if you make a concrete arrangement with the person may not come back. So that is your gain. You now have that baby forever with you.
You know, I have a story, I have several stories where I'm coming from. One of the stories is about my uncle, who, when my grand, is it my great grand uncle or my grand uncle? How do I say? No, he's my grand uncle. Okay, not my great grand uncle. So he got married to his love of, the love of his life, but they didn't have children. They lived, and this man was a very upright man, as in the Abraham of our time. That was how I saw him until he passed. You know, the memory of his legacy, the legacy he left behind is still there till tomorrow. So he was a very upright man. He got married to the love of his life. They didn't have children, and he loved his wife so much. But after some time, the wife was like, you know what, we need children. So in our tradition, what they do is you will marry a wife for your husband. So she married the first wife, who now is the second wife. So she married her into the family. And as she came into the family, she had a baby girl. As she had a baby girl, she died. So of course, automatically, my auntie, my grand auntie, became the mother of the child, which was the agreement. The first child you come up with is going to be given to this woman. Then you stay and have yours. Then they married another person. Another lady came in and had the first one, who was a guy. And the guy was taken from her and given to Mama. Mama had 2 kids, a girl and a boy. And then this lady stayed on as now the second wife, since the second wife died. And she started having other kids. But the problem did not leave, because that woman that came in, even though she was told, never forgave them for taking her first son. There was always that problem. She was not, like in good terms with Mama all the time. There was always that squabble. But this guy grew up not recognizing her as the mother. Who he knew as the mother was Mama. I think maybe, of course, he would know eventually. But even at that, until Mama died, it was that Mama that was his mom. I have another uncle that also, a cousin rather, that also came like that. The first wife didn't have children, and married this lady. The lady had him, and he was given to the first wife, because that was the contract at that time. When you come in, you have the first one. We'll take that baby from birth and give. Once you are done winning the baby, you give that baby to the mother. And in fact, the way they do it is the baby even begins to sleep with the older wife, so that they have that bond. You only called in to come and breastfeed. The older wife will take care of everything. So it is not advisable. Nobody can just have a baby and walk away. And you are in the same environment, and your baby is being given to another woman. When you hear him crying, something happens to you, and you cannot nurse him until you are allowed to. It's not advisable. So that is why we are begging people to stop the traditional surrogacy. Do the professional one if you want to go about surrogacy. But surrogacy is good. Let's not condemn surrogacy because of the traditional way it was being done before. Let us allow people who want to do their, do surrogacy to go about it, but go about it the professional way. Let's hear what she has to say.
For me, surrogacy, I feel that everybody cannot have everything. And then if a woman does not, for whatever personal reasons, does not want to carry a child of her own, I feel that she has the right, considering the extent to which pregnancy can mess people up sometimes. I feel like a woman has the right to decide if she wants to carry a baby or not. And as long as the surrogate, is not being held against her will at gunpoint, if it is a willing and mutual contract, then I think that it's okay for a woman to decide to have another person carry her baby for her.
I support what she said. She's coming from another angle. Now, it is not about health. Sometimes it's just basically other reasons apart from health. So sometimes, okay, there's a lady, I came across her some time ago. Whenever she delivers, she goes into a period of madness. Whenever she has a baby, she goes into it. So this woman, anytime she has a baby, they are prepared for that madness to come. So they will have to take away the children from her. She can actually pick up a knife and come after them. It's called whatever. There's a name for it. Sometimes it's depression. Sometimes it is not the depression, but it has, an effect on people. So if a woman goes through that stage and she cannot bear, take care of her children, why allow her go through that over and over again? Here is where I'm coming from. Wearing clothes right now was alien to us at some point. Reading was alien to us at some point. But there are things that we are beginning to do now. Same thing with riding a car, buying a house, single people now buying, a house. These things were alien to us before. But when you don't open up a conversation, things that you are supposed to do, things that can help you, will not happen. That's why we're opening up this channel, for the conversation to start. You have to actually start having the conversation before you can say, okay, this can work or that cannot work. So yes, the culture is not our own, because we were doing the traditional one. But now here is a way you can do it professionally and achieve a better result. So yes, it was alien to us. It is alien to us now, but it will get better. We'll get more familiar with it as we begin to talk. And then we begin to wrap our minds around it and think about it truly. What is really wrong with this? Nothing, if you do it the right way.
If a woman cannot put to bed on her own, I don't think there's anything wrong about surrogacy. I don't think about anything wrong about that as well.
As an African man, to me, I think the culture is alien to us, and I won't encourage it. It's my own option, though. I won't encourage it, but whichever way it is, I believe it's a matter of choice. Everybody should be given the privilege to have his or her way. As it's a matter of you discussing with your husband, or whichever way it is, anything that will make you happy. But to me, I don't buy the idea. But everybody has entitled to his own opinion, sir.
Personally, such a thing might go on and bring fraud. Yeah, it can bring fraud, because the third party might say, okay, this is what I want. If you don't give me this will not happen. It's a wrong process. That's why I still go back in the day of what we know, of what we have in mind, of what generation, it has passed from generation to generation. These are things that we know that it's meant to be. Not bringing up our own ideas and putting in chemicals and what have you, telling somebody to carry your own child. It doesn't end well. It doesn't. For me, it has never ended well, and it will not end well.
What doesn't end well is the traditional way of going about it. I don't know where this man grew up, but where I grew up, surrogacy has always been there. Sometimes some different cultures might not even know. In my culture, surrogacy has been there, but it was a traditional one. And that was the one that was bringing problem. So right now, there's no chemical. It's just the same way you do IVF. The fetus will be, the egg will be implanted, the sperm will be implanted, added to it, and then it will fertilize, and then baby comes. So there's no chemical, there's no go back to the olden days. The olden days is why we're having problem. So we're trying to eliminate the olden ways that got us here.
I don't think it's safe. I'm not really in support of that, because it's not your wife that brought it out from her womb. Somebody carrying your own baby for 9 months, it looks strange to me. I will not tell you lies. You understand? But I don't know why people do that. Maybe because they can't give birth, or maybe they are kind of, what will I call it? Like somebody who cannot fertilize a child, an egg. That's why you will say somebody else should do it for you. But I believe it's better you adopt. But doing that, I don't think I'm in support of it. I don't like it. To me, I would not want somebody to carry my own baby.
In some cases, we've had men go out to play and then ended up having someone carry their babies. Do they discard those babies? Sometimes I've seen a situation, so many situations where a lady gets pregnant and says, you know what, I don't want to abort, but I don't want to take care of the baby. And the man discusses with the wife, and the wife says, bring him or bring her home. So when the baby is born, they bring the baby back to the house, and the woman takes care of the child. What is alien about that? It's your blood. You put it in somewhere else, and they've produced a child. You can't carry your child and train. Will you throw the child away? Sometimes the mother of this man will say, even if the wife is against the idea, or the husband is against, the mother will go and find that woman, say, give me my pikin, make I raise. It happens a lot. So what is changed? So the man knows that the child is closer home, the child is with his mom or with his sister or any of his siblings, and he's paying school fees, and the child comes, once in a while for holidays and all of that. So it is what it is. We live this life. We do it every time. There's nothing strange about it.
It's a matter of choice. Why I will not be comfortable with it, some other persons may be. And the reason why I will not be comfortable with it is, in as much as every marriage desires children, I've come to a place of knowledge that we don't make children. They come as a gift from God. And it's not a must that it must come from you. And the time being when you wait till yours comes, how many children are you impacting around you? In the end, people have had 10 and lost 10. So what's the proof that you ever had one? So that's my philosophy about surrogacy. So personally, I will not go for it. Matter of choice. I've seen some people having asked what's in it, what are the dangers, and then making a choice to say, okay, we'll risk what the danger is, we'll go for it. We've also seen where the women who get to carry these children on a contract, heavily paid, or out of love for their friend, their sister, their brother, end up having a certain attachment to that child. And 9 months with something on the inside of you, no amount of money can buy that bond. Yes, you're paid for it, but then it's a bond that cannot be paid for. So, and I've also seen people come back years after to want to lay claim to that child. They have proof that, yes, I was carried.
There are also some reasons why people might still want to go into it. For instance, a woman who has a damaged womb and wants to have a child that has her blood. What would such a woman do? If such a woman has a choice, has the financial capability to have surrogacy, they would damn the consequence and go for it. But yes, if you ask me if it's very safe, I would say no, because there are tendencies that a carrier could want to abscond with the child from the hospital or come back some years after to meet the parents of this child to ask for their child, because they feel they carried the child in their womb for 9 months and the child belongs to them. Some people prefer surrogacy to adoption because they feel like adopting a child, yes, it is, and the child is not really connected to them biologically, but going for surrogacy, it's their biological child. So yes, it's not very safe, but there are reasons why people go for it.
First of all, there has to be understanding. There has to be understanding with the surrogate mother who is, and then apart from that, there is this attachment that comes with giving birth. The surrogate mother may get that attachment to the baby, and as time goes on, it becomes a big problem. It becomes a big problem because in a lot of crime, we have witnessed that kind of problems, and it doesn't make sense because it do affect the child at the end of it, because the child will be kind of confused. Who is my mom? This is my, these are some of the things that I don't even think about surrogacy. I don't really believe in that.
Surrogacy is very nice. Very nice, as long as you can get someone that is willing to do it, is willing to do that kind of thing, because not everybody is willing to do it and just like give you the child after the whole suffering. Oh no. So it's not about being paid. You understand? The love is already there. You understand? Now waiting. No, we won't go there.
You see, that's exactly why we don't advise traditional surrogacy. Okay? The best way to do it is to do it professionally. There is no attachment. It's purely transactional. At the end of the day, they go their way and you go your way. And that is it. So, and that is where we come to an end today. I hope you have enjoyed this session. Surrogacy is good, but when done professionally. So go ahead out there, encourage anyone you know who wants to do it, but do it professionally. Thank you for watching. And from me, it's always love, 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 love. Remember that children are a gift from God. He gives them to us however He chooses. And our job is to receive and take care of them for His glory. Do not forget, our programs always come to you on Fridays, 7 p.m. Central African Time, and we would always be reaching out to you through our YouTube channel, Zyna TV, and of course on Facebook and on Instagram. Tell everyone you know about this program. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and keep sharing. Thank you. My name is Zyna. See you again next week. Bye.